Hi, everybody. If you're watching this in the summer or the weather has shifted and it's, like now 60 degrees out, this is going to look very strange. But today, when I'm recording this, it's chilly. There's snow outside. It's March. There should be. March is that back and forth month. But it's chilly. So I'm dressing for the outside weather and the fact that, this is a pantry. This is my pantry office, and it's called that because it's a real pantry. It's off the kitchen. And I think there's a heat vent somewhere in here, but it's not toasty. So anyway, if my wardrobe is distressing you, my apologies, but it is what it is. I think you know that I have like these artwork pieces around me, and I'm not going to let you see the other end of the room because that's the part that is the workshop with all my tools hanging on the wall. And yeah, not messy, but it's not the office. This is the office part of the pantry office. But a piece of artwork that is down there at the other end usually is this. It's by, gosh, I wish I could really read his name. I think Tubman might be the last name. Tallman. I think it's Tubman. And these two works are by him as well. Not the middle one. That's by a woman I know, but the first and the third are also by him. And he's a photographer in New England. I have a favorite store that I like to go to in Plymouth, New Hampshire when I go to visit family, and I pick up some of his things. And this is one of his. I'm going to try to put it in such a way that you can see it without too much glare. Do you see? It's this collection of rocks, and they're leaning toward each other. It's the basis for how arcs are made in stonework, where you have everything leaning against it, and the gravity pulls them together so that they create this void, this space in the middle. And this is usually up at the other end of my pantry office. But I've been struck by this lately, because I think you can tell there are all these little different rocks. This is not one big thing. And they're all positioned and they're balanced. So first off, this reminds me to stay in balance. But secondly, it reminds me that it's only when we lean on each other and rely on each other that we can stay in balance and upright. If these were just vertical and they hadn't been pushed together at the top, both of them would topple over, because these are rounded stones on the bottom. They're not built on necessarily a firm foundation right there. But when they come together, then they have the strength to stay up and to create shelter, to create safety, to create a passageway, to welcome others. There are a lot of ways that we could apply this example and talk about it in the world today. We can talk about it certainly in terms of nature, or in terms of human growth and development and our children growing and teaching them to come together. Could in terms of community development. I've used this kind of thing before. Right now, when I look at this, I see what's going on in the world in terms of the war. Each of these could be a nation that on its own wouldn't be enough to stand up against aggression. But together, we create something new and some safe space for refugees. or we create a place of shelter. We are stronger when we are together, when we lean upon each other. No one has to be perfect. We just have to be willing to bend a little, to be a little uncomfortable, to be a little off balance ourselves, so that as part of the larger group, we can have that group strength. This relates to families for me. Individual family members have strengths that we bring together. Churches, church congregations, not everybody is good at every single thing, but together, when we lean on each other, we provide the strength, we provide the safety, we provide the space for others to enter, the portals. What do you think of when you see something like this? And after you've answered that, the next question is, where do you see yourself in this picture? Are you one of these rocks holding things together? Are you the capstone up here? Are you sheltered by this coming together of groups? Are you one who's leading others through to safety? Are you the designer of this? Some people would say, no, God's the designer. God is the ultimate designer. But let me point out that God is in each of these things that we've just talked about. God is in each stone. God is in the force that brings it together. God is in leading the pathway through. God is in the shelter. God is in the sheltering. God is the capstone. God also invites us to become the capstone of the smaller versions. As you go through today, and today is a Friday in real time, so I invite you to carry this thought with you throughout the weekend. View things that are happening in our world through this picture and see where you are and where you fit. Okay? And it's a Friday, so I'm going to say, if you're in a position to support this ministry, we invite your contributions of prayer or coin. Contact information is at the end of this video. But regardless, pray for us, please. Pass this on to your friends who might need some kind of similar message. Because this is going to take all of us to create the shelter for the world right now. The good news is that God's in it with us. And God is shaping it. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause with the pastor. I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, God bless. Take care, and bye for now.